What do you think about the military science fiction with the ancient Norse gods as one of the sides of the conflict? I personally think it's an awesome idea. Hi, I'm Nick Hein, and today I want to talk about the pretty much forgotten science fiction novel by Curtis H. Hoffman called Project Millennium. I know that it's not the best idea to talk about such obscure books at the beginning of my BookTube journey. Probably I should have picked something really known to a lot of people, some sort of bestseller. But I really like this novel, and one of the reasons why I decided to record this video is because I just recently was able to find a copy of that, because my first one that I've read something about 30 years ago is lost long time ago. As you can see, it's not the longest book in the world, but it's really entertaining, and it has a lot of really interesting ideas. Of course, it's not that simple and straightforward as I described in my hook. It's not like the Odin and Thor and other ancient Norse gods are flying all over the galaxy and fighting against the imperial war fleets. It's more complicated, more elaborate, more cunning, I would say, and really interesting. The plot for the novel is starting at the point when inhabitants of the really rich, prosperous planet decided to throw a really big celebration. The plot is starting at the point when the inhabitants of the big prosperous planet decide to throw a really big celebration for their centuries of their peaceful life, for the centuries of living without the war. Obviously, the best idea they got was to stage a big war, to watch it and enjoying the fact that they don't have to fight anymore with each other and they can just live peacefully. That sounds kinda cringy and freaky, and that's one of the biggest basic ideas in the novel. So these inhabitants, this planet, hire the big entertainment company and order them to stage this war. Of course, it goes against the galactic laws, but galaxy is big, and if nobody knows about that, then nobody is to blame. By the way, it's not a big spoiler. Everything that I have just said is told to us by the author in the first few pages of the novel. So this entertainment company decided to put two AIs, the evil AIs. You know, the book was published in 1986. But you generally doesn't feel that at all. When you're reading it, it feels like it was published just a couple of years ago. Maybe a couple of small features feel a bit of time, but generally it's a really good book and really like up to date. And those two AIs are starting the preparations for the future war. As I said before, it's not actually the ancient gods, it's a genetically engineered replicas of the old Norse gods with somewhat similar powers. And the other side is the vast army, which is led by the Hel, the goddess of death in the ancient Norse mythology, and the replica of the Richard III. Well, thank you, Shakespeare, you made the Richard III the evil guy, which he wasn't actually, but that doesn't matter. So that's generally the plot. I'm not going to tell you more about the plot details because that will be the spoiler, but the book is really entertaining and it's a really good read. It was a really good read for me back then, and it was a really good read now, because generally I almost forgot everything. Of course, I'm a little biased toward such things, because the Viking era, the ancient Norse mythology, everything, the Icelandic sagas, it was a really big attraction for me for many years. So I was really interested to see how it could be implemented into the science fiction. And actually I'm really surprised that I didn't read a lot of books with Jesus. I don't know what was going on beyond this forest. Some sort of construction. Sorry about the noise, guys. I thought I'm in the really peaceful, cozy place, but obviously I'm not. Actually, I'm really surprised that I haven't met a lot of books using this idea, the implementing the old Norse gods into some science fiction, because to me it sounds really awesome and like could bring a lot of very interesting results. If you know some, please add them into the comments. I would really like to find them and read them. That would be really interesting for me. I was really interested, apart from that, this is a really good action book, just really nice read. It's getting you into it from the first pages and gripping you hard and letting you go only with the, actually almost with the last sentence. And funny thing, couple of times the author even breaking the fourth wall, but I'm not going to tell you more. But it was really awesome. Apart from this, it was really interesting for me to see how the author managed to merge those superhuman, the godly powers of the ancient Norse gods, the Odin, the Vidar. There is a lot of them. Like I remember when I read it first time, I needed to check it within it was 1990 something, so Wikipedia wasn't yet a thing, and I was checking in some sort of big dictionaries or some historic books who they really were, because he implemented almost all of the known Norse pantheon into the book. So how he will merge them and how he will recreate those godly powers with genetics, well, and some cybernetics add-ons. It was really good read. And by the way, everything was staged as the great Ragnarok, and he almost strictly keep the general plot of the final battle of the gods, of course with a little bit different outcome, because he needed to finish book with his own ideas. And I'm really trying not to spoil the things right now, so I'm not going to tell you more about that. I really recommend this book for everybody who loves the military science fiction and for those who love the scent of the ancient mythology, especially the ancient Norse gods. So that's generally what I had to say about this book. At the end, only the one fun fact that I known purely accidentally. Just a small fun fact, the artist for this cover was the James Warhol. He mostly known as an illustrator for the children's book, but sometimes obviously he illustrated the sci-fi, and he is a nephew of the Andy Warhol. I guess you probably know who it is. So I hope you like this video. There will be more interesting reviews about great books, known and obscure. So stay tuned to the channel. Bye.